When I was 10 years old, my house burned down. I thought the world was over, but what I didn't know was that, just so you know, I don't tell this story to a lot of people. When I was 10, I was at home with my family. I was playing Crash Bandicoot on PS1. That's how old I am. And I stood up to plug in my controller because I had yanked it out because I got excited. When I stood up, there was smoke on the floor. I couldn't see my feet. I noticed the smoke before the smoke detectors were even going off. So we ran out of the house. You know, obviously I let my dad know. We all got out of the house and there was flames from the ground to the roof. It was a wood house. Everything, it burnt quick. You could feel it. So this was January in New York. So there was snow on the ground, it was freezing, I was barefoot, it was cold, but I felt the heat from the house. Seeing the house in flames was like, it didn't look real. Like I didn't think it was actually happening. Like everything was moving very slowly, even though it was actually really rushed. You know, it was a super weird feeling. One distinct memory that I have is how my house smelled burning. We lived in a territory that was only volunteer firefighters, so it still upsets me to this day. They showed up extremely late, and then the first thing they did was they set up a little Dunkin' Donuts coffee table stand, and it like just irks me to the core. That's my house, that's my belongings, that's my memories, that's like, God forbid, a family member's in there, and the first thing you do is not your job. I was in shock, I guess. I wouldn't say scared, but it was just kind of, didn't feel real, you know, until I lost everything. The feeling of, you know, celebrating Christmas with your family, being happy, to all of a sudden losing everything in less than 24 hours was, we didn't have anywhere to go. We had absolutely no clothes. We had no food. All of my baby pictures were gone. Just, you know, like core memory things that you have with your family taken away from you. It really hit like that night. Having to scramble and try and find like where we're gonna live, it became real. I was traumatized. I would say up until about 5 years ago, I was having like nightmares about fire. If I saw a flash of light, say like a car drove by or something, I would jump out of bed and make sure it wasn't flames. I didn't want to die in the middle of the night sleeping. It's gonna sound funny, but the one thing that was really special to me at the time was recovered. So my Teddy and Blankie, I still have to this day for 30 years. Our neighbor, who happened to also be a family friend, picked up a job for 2 years in another state. So that family owns that house, but lives somewhere else for 2 years. So they said, you guys can move into our house until your house is done and then move back into your, it was literally right across the street. So when I say we were a part of the building process of my house, we were there every day. It changed our lives, but my parents did a really, really good job of not letting it affect the rest of our existence. We still went to school, we still did our daily stuff. Sports for sure definitely helped guide me down a healthy path. Being an athlete has always been a positive escape for me. It's not just about competing. This is an outlet for me. In the house fire, right, I lost all my trophies that I earned growing up. It was hard for me because I felt like all the things that I had to show for all the hard work that I had put in was gone. And so anyways, I just continued earning more trophies. I played soccer my entire life into college. I played collegiate soccer. Once I graduated college, I didn't have soccer anymore, you know, and I was like completely lost because I played a sport every season. I started CrossFit. That was the fill-in for soccer. I couldn't do a pull-up. I couldn't do a push-up. It was devastating. My athletic abilities were purely just soccer and nothing like strength-based. I had absolutely no arm strength at all. But I met somebody at my gym that played in the National Grid League. The first grid match in Madison Square Garden was in 2014. And that was the first time I was introduced to grid. Just the movements and the athleticism from the grid athletes, the stuff I saw them doing, I was like, I need to get in there. I love grid, I wanna do it. But I was nowhere near good enough, like at all. I was still just a beginner. I thought I missed my shot. So I just focused on CrossFit. That's when I started weightlifting actually. I knew what a clean was, squatting, back squatting, things like that. And eventually got pretty dang good. And then I moved here in 2019. And that's when I was reintroduced to grid. What I love about grid is the team aspect, the camaraderie, so going to practices together. I'm very competitive, I love to win. Winning is fun. You're not having fun if you're not winning, right? So everyone wants to win, everyone wants to give it their all, which is what the South Beach Palms have. So being on a team where we're having fun while we're giving it our all, that's a win-win right there. So moving forward, I mingled with firefighters and first responders at my gym, loved their job. They would tell me very positive things about it, like, oh, they're proud of what they do, they're passionate about what they do. I was like, wow, like that looks nice. I would like that, you know? They were very eager to help me pursue that path. When you get hired, they kind of put you through a boot camp, essentially, and they try to kill you. Firefighting is like a professional sport. We are like professional athletes. I want to be in the best shape of my life for my job. CrossFit itself helps me prepare drastically for the training, for firefighter training. The boots, pants, and jacket by themselves and helmet, I think is maybe 70 pounds. So my range of motion is affected, my heart rate, my endurance is affected. How long I can work out in my gear is definitely shorter than without gear. I'm not gonna be huffing and puffing, not being able to drag someone out of a fire or lift somebody off a bed. It's a lifestyle. I absolutely love it. It is extremely ironic that my house burned down and now I'm a firefighter. Being on the other side of that, instead of being, you know, the victim or the patient, being on the other side, the person to help, that was extremely rewarding, like being there to help people that needed it on their worst day, because I know how that feels. I've dealt with kids even younger than me when my house burned down, going through, you know, a traumatic experience. And that's like kind of when I knew that this was meant for me, you know? Experiencing like a tragic event like my house burning down when I was 10, and in my adult life now, what I've learned from that is how like resilient and adaptable and how I can overcome, you know, really hard, difficult things. You have to see the good through all the shit. So when it comes to CrossFit, grid, firefighting, there's a lot of variables there that are out of my control. Challenges, I take them on, you know? I don't see challenges or change as a bad thing.